Commander Ta stood by the large window of the warship Eternal Vigilance watching the stars go by. His hands shook slightly as he held them behind his back. He tried to stop the shaking, but he could not. The shaking had been with him since the Battle of Nexus Prime, where an enemy neural blast had damaged his brain. "Commander, your final orders have arrived," said the ship's eye. Tai took a deep breath and turned away from the window. "Display them." A screen appeared in front of him. As he read, his face showed no emotion, but inside he felt a deep sadness. Just as he had expected, he and 11 other damaged soldiers were being sent to a small, unimportant planet called Earth on a diplomatic mission. Everyone knew what this really meant. They were being thrown away. In the Galactic Union, damaged soldiers were not valued. Only the perfect could serve. Only the whole were worthy. And Ta, despite his 20 years of perfect service and 3 high honor medals, was no longer whole. He walked down to the ship's meeting room where the other 11 waited. He knew them all by their broken parts. Lieutenant Jin sat cleaning his prosthetic arm, which often froze up during movement. Next to him was Suma, once the best weapons expert in the fleet. She hadn't spoken a word since a sonic attack damaged her vocal cords 3 years ago. In the corner, Major Doe stared at nothing, his cybernetic eyes sometimes glitching, showing static instead of vision. "Our orders are confirmed," Tai announced to the room. "We leave for Earth tomorrow. We will establish first contact and set up a diplomatic base." "A diplomatic base on a planet that doesn't even have space travel yet," Jin said with a bitter laugh. "How important." Sumi wrote something on her tablet and held it up. At least we're not being sent to a mining colony, Some of the others nodded. That was the usual fate of damaged soldiers, working in mines until their bodies failed completely. "It's a waste of fuel to send 12 of us just to say hello to some primitives," said Captain Han, who walked with a limp after a battle injury that their advanced medicine somehow couldn't fix. Tai looked at them all. Once, they had been the pride of the Union fleet. Now they were embarrassments, problems to be hidden away. "We still serve the Union," Ta said firmly, "even if the Union no longer values that service." Later that night, Ta sat alone in his quarters, looking at pictures of Earth on his screen. It was a blue and green planet, much like many others they had visited. The people looked similar to their own species, though Earth humans were more varied in size and appearance. As he read about Earth's many wars and conflicts, something caught his eye. The humans kept records of their wounded soldiers. They built monuments to them. They had special medical centers just for veterans. How strange, Ta thought. Why would they waste resources on the broken? His door chimed, and Jin entered without waiting for permission. "So this is how it ends for us," Jin said, his artificial arm twitching at his side. "Sent to babysit a primitive planet while real soldiers do the important work." "We follow orders," Tai replied simply, "until they decide we're too broken to even do that." Jin's face showed anger, but Tai could see the fear behind it. Tai turned back to the window. In the distance, he could now see a small blue dot. Earth was getting closer. "Maybe it's not an ending," Ta said quietly, though he didn't really believe it. "Maybe it's just a different kind of mission." Jin laughed without humor. "The only mission they have for soldiers like us is to disappear quietly." As the ship moved closer to Earth, Ta watched the blue planet grow larger. His hands trembled as he wondered if this final assignment was simply an elaborate way to dispose of those the Union no longer valued. Little did he know that this small, unimportant planet would change everything. The landing ship touched down gently in an open field outside Seoul. Commander Ta checked his translator one last time and straightened his uniform. Behind him, the 11 other broken warriors did the same, trying to look strong and whole. "Remember," Ta said to them, "we represent the Galactic Union. Stand tall." Captain Han leaned on his cane. "Even those of us who can't stand tall." No one smiled at the joke. The ship's door opened, and bright sunlight poured in. Ta stepped out first, expecting to see Earth military forces with weapons ready. That was how most first contacts went. Species were always afraid of aliens. But what he saw surprised him. A small group of humans waited at a safe distance. They wore no military uniforms, just simple clothes in many colors. They carried no weapons. A woman stepped forward from the group. She had short black hair and wore a blue suit. Her face showed no fear, only interest. "Welcome to Earth," she said in her language, which came through Ta's translator clearly. "I am Dr. Hannah Kim. I lead the First Contact Committee." Ta gave the formal greeting of the Union. "I am Commander Ta of the Galactic Union. We come in peace to establish diplomatic relations." He waited for the usual questions about their weapons, their ships, their technology. Instead, Dr. Hannah asked, "Was your journey comfortable? You've come a very long way." This was not what Tay expected. He hesitated, then said, "The journey was acceptable." "Please, meet my team," Dr. Hannah said, motioning to the others. One by one, the humans stepped forward. There was Jiho, a young man who specialized in languages. Then came Dr. Park, who studied space. There was also Minsu, who represented Earth's governments. As the introductions continued, Lieutenant Jin moved forward to shake hands, a greeting they had studied. But as he reached out, his prosthetic arm locked up and froze in midair. Jin's face turned red with shame. This was why broken soldiers were not sent on important missions. They failed. They embarrassed the Union. But Dr. Hannah didn't look disgusted or afraid. She looked at the arm with interest. "That's fascinating technology," she said. "Does it connect directly to your nerve endings?" Jin blinked in surprise. "Yes," he said after a moment. "But it doesn't work right anymore." The young man named Jiho stepped closer. "I study robotics as a hobby. I might be able to help fix it, if you'd allow me to look at it later." Jin looked at Ta, confusion clear on his face. Ta felt the same confusion. Why weren't the humans disgusted by their broken parts? Suma came forward next. When she couldn't speak to introduce herself, she held up her tablet with her name written on it. The humans didn't stare or whisper. They simply nodded and smiled at her. "We've prepared a building for your embassy," Dr. Hannah said. "It's not far from here. Would you like to see it now, or do you need to rest after your journey?" Ta was still trying to understand these humans. In Union space, showing weakness was shameful, but Dr. Hannah had offered rest, as if it was normal to need it. "We will see the embassy now," Ta decided. As they walked toward waiting vehicles, he noticed Major Doe stumble as his cybernetic eyes glitched again. A human quickly moved to steady him, not with disgust, but with a gentle hand. "Careful there," the human said kindly. As they drove through the city, Ta noticed something strange about the humans they passed. Some walked with canes like Captain Han. Some had artificial limbs like Jin. Some used wheeled chairs to move. "Your people," Ta said carefully to Dr. Hannah. "Some of them are damaged." Dr. Hannah looked surprised by the question. "You mean people with disabilities?" "Yes, of course. They are part of our community." Ta and the other warriors exchanged looks of confusion. A society that kept its broken members in public view. It made no sense. As they arrived at the new embassy building, Ta felt his hands begin to shake again. This time, Dr. Hannah noticed. But she didn't look away in disgust. She didn't pretend not to see. Instead, she simply asked, "Is there anything you need for your comfort, Commander?" For the first time in years, Ta didn't feel ashamed of his shaking hands. 3 weeks had passed since the alien delegation arrived on Earth. Their embassy was now set up in a tall building with large windows that looked out over Seoul. Commander Ta sat in his office, reading reports from the other team members. The reports surprised him. Earth's nations, despite their many different languages and governments, had quickly agreed on how to work with the aliens. This unity was not what they had expected from their study of Earth's history. There was a knock at his door. "Enter," Ta said. Dr. Hannah Kim walked in with a smile. "Good morning, Commander. Are we still meeting today to discuss medical exchanges?" "Yes," Ta said, standing up. His hands trembled less today. He had noticed this happening more often lately. They walked together to a meeting room where screens showed medical information from both Earth and the Galactic Union. "Your medical technology is far ahead of ours," Hannah said, looking at the Union's data. "You can heal injuries that would be permanent for us. Yet you have so many injured veterans. Why is that?" Todd felt uncomfortable. "In the Union, you did not discuss the broken ones. Some injuries affect the brain or nervous system," he explained. "Neural damage is difficult, even for our medicine, and resources are limited. The Union must focus on soldiers who can return to full duty." Hannah nodded. "I see. On Earth, we have a different approach." She touched a screen, showing images of humans with missing limbs, in wheeled chairs, with scars and other marks of injury. "These are our veterans," she said. "We honor them. Their injuries are seen as signs of their service and survival." Ty was confused, but they cannot fight anymore. What value do they have? As soon as he said it, he realized he was talking about himself too. Hannah didn't seem offended. "A person's value isn't just in their ability to fight, Commander. These veterans teach, lead, create art, raise families, build businesses. Their experiences make them valuable in different ways." Ty thought about this as they continued their meeting. Later that day, he went looking for Suma. He found her in a large room with bright windows. She was not alone. A human man sat with her. They were both painting on large whiteboards. The man looked up and smiled at Ta. Hannah, who had come with Ta, introduced him. "This is Da. He teaches art at a school for deaf children. He was born unable to speak." Day nodded at Ta, then turned back to Suma. He made quick hand movements that Tai's translator couldn't catch. To Todd's shock, Shumi made similar hand movements back. "They're using sign language," Hannah explained. "Da has been teaching Suma. It's a way to talk without speaking." Tai watched as Suma's hands moved quickly and confidently. Her face showed more life than he had seen since her injury. She was communicating without words, without her voice. "On Earth," Hannah said softly, "we find many ways to adapt. We don't expect everyone to be the same." As they left the room, Ta saw Captain Han in the embassy garden. He was sitting on a bench with his bad leg stretched out, talking with several human children. The children were asking questions about space, and Han was answering with more enthusiasm than Tai had seen in years. "The children's school asked if they could meet your team," Hannah explained. "They've been learning about space. And they sent children to meet with damaged soldiers." Tai asked, still not understanding. Hannah looked at him with surprise. "We sent them to meet with space travelers who have amazing stories to tell. The fact that Captain Han walks with a cane doesn't make his stories less valuable." Tai watched as one child asked to touch Han's cane, and Han let the child hold it. There was no shame in his face as he explained how it helped him walk. That night, Tai sent a message to Union Command about the day's events. But he left out something important. He didn't tell them that for the first time since his injury, he had gone a whole day without feeling worthless. He didn't tell them that Earth was changing him. Commander Ta woke up to the sound of an urgent beep. The secure communication system in his room was flashing red. A message from Union Command had arrived during the night. He got out of bed quickly. His hands were steady this morning, he noticed. He pressed his palm to the scanner, and the message appeared on his screen. As he read, his face grew dark. The message was clear. Asterisk Commander Tay asterisk. Asterisk your diplomatic mission is a cover. Your real mission is to find and report on Earth's healing technology. Our scientists have detected unusual energy patterns suggesting advanced medical capabilities. We believe the humans have technology that can repair neural damage and fix broken bodies asterisk. Asterisk, this technology could restore our damaged soldiers to fighting condition. It would be valuable to the Union. Locate it, gather all information, and report back immediately asterisk. Asterisk, the humans must not know your true purpose asterisk. Asterisk command out asterisk. Tai sat heavily in his chair, so they hadn't just been sent away to be forgotten. The Union wanted something from Earth, and they had sent the broken soldiers because they were, what? Test subjects. Expendable spies. He thought about Dr. Hana and her kindness, about Day teaching Shumi to speak with her hands, about the children who looked at Captain Han like he was a hero. For the first time in his career, Commander Tai felt uncertain about his orders. He called a private meeting with his team in the secure room of the embassy. When everyone was seated, he shared the message. So we're not diplomats. We're spies, Lieutenant Jin said, his face angry. His prosthetic arm was working better now. The young human, Jiho, had indeed helped fix it. We're still diplomats, Ta said firmly, but we have additional orders. Major Do, whose cybernetic eyes had been clearer lately, asked, what kind of healing technology do they think humans have? Earth medicine seems simple compared to ours. I don't know, Tai admitted, but we must look for it. Later that day, Ta met with Dr. Hana. They were scheduled to visit a veterans' hospital. Now, this visit had a second purpose. The hospital was a large building with many windows. Inside, humans in white coats moved around caring for patients. Some patients were missing limbs. Others had scars on their faces. Some sat in wheelchairs. This is our largest veterans rehabilitation center, Hana explained as they walked. Soldiers who are injured come here to heal and learn to live with their new conditions. Ta looked carefully at everything, searching for signs of advanced technology. But he saw only simple machines, much less advanced than Union medical equipment. What is your most advanced healing technology? He asked, trying to sound casual. Hana thought for a moment. Well, we're doing interesting work with artificial limbs that connect to the nervous system. And there's promising research in neural regeneration. She led him into a large room where a group of veterans were exercising. Some were lifting weights. Others walked carefully on moving belts. One man with an artificial leg was learning to balance. But honestly, Hana continued, some of our most effective treatments aren't about technology at all. She pointed to another room where veterans sat in a circle, talking. That's group therapy. Soldiers talk about their experiences, their nightmares, their fears. It helps them heal the wounds inside that no one can see. In another room, veterans were making art. In yet another, they were playing music together. These activities help rebuild neural pathways, Hana explained. They give purpose and community. The body heals better when the mind is engaged and the spirit is strong. Ta watched as a veteran with severe burns on his face laughed with others while painting. The man didn't hide his scars. He didn't seem ashamed. And the energy readings? Tai asked. Do you use any special energy in your treatments? Hana looked confused. Energy readings? Tai realized he had made a mistake. I mean, energy therapy. Like your electricity treatments. Oh, you mean electrical stimulation for muscle recovery? Yes, we use that. It's fairly basic technology. As they continued the tour, Tai felt more and more confused. Where was the advanced technology the Union had detected? All he saw were simple machines and humans helping other humans. That night, he sent a message to Union Command. Asterisk, no sign yet of advanced healing technology. We'll continue searching asterisk. But as he lay in bed, he wondered if he was missing something. Something that couldn't be seen with scanners or measured with instruments. Something that was already beginning to heal him and his team. 6 weeks had passed since the aliens arrived on Earth. Commander Ta sat in his office, looking at reports from his team. Each report showed the same thing. No advanced healing technology had been found. But there was something else in the reports, something unexpected. Lieutenant Jin reported that his arm was working better. He had been helping Jiho in a robotics class for children. The constant small movements seemed to help his control. Major Do's cybernetic eyes were glitching less often. He had been taking walks in the sun each morning, something a doctor had suggested might help reset his eye systems. Most surprising was Sumi. She still couldn't speak, but she was now teaching sign language to other team members. Her hands moved quickly and confidently as she showed them how to communicate without words. Todd looked down at his own hands. They were steady today. In fact, they had been steady more often lately, and his nightmares had become less frequent. What was happening to them? A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Dr. Hannah stood there with a smile. "Ready for our visit to the Adaptive Sports Center?" she asked. Ta nodded and followed her. They drove to a large building with open fields around it. Inside, Ta stopped in surprise. Veterans with missing limbs were playing a fast game with a ball, moving quickly on special wheelchairs. In another area, people with one leg were swimming in a pool. Others with artificial arms were lifting weights. "This is where many of our veterans come to rebuild their strength and confidence," Hannah explained. "They seem happy," Ta said, watching a man with no legs hit a ball with a stick in some kind of game. "Many are, yes," Hannah agreed. "Not at first, of course. Injury brings grief and anger. But in time, with support and purpose, many find new joy." As they watched, a loud bang came from somewhere in the building. Before Ty could think, he dropped to the ground, his heart racing, his body preparing for attack. It was an automatic response, one that had stayed with him since the neural blast injury. But this time was different. As he crouched on the ground, he felt a gentle hand on his shoulder. He looked up to see not just Hannah, but two human veterans kneeling beside him. "Deep breaths, Commander," one said calmly. "You're safe. It was just equipment falling." The other veteran nodded. "Happens to me too. Loud noises, right? Brings you right back to the fight." They didn't laugh at him. They didn't look away in shame. They helped him up with understanding in their eyes. "We call it PTSD," Hannah explained as they walked on. "Post-traumatic stress disorder. Many soldiers experience it after combat. In the Union, we call it weakness," Ta said quietly. Hannah stopped walking and looked at him seriously. "Fear is not weakness, Commander. It's your body remembering danger to keep you safe. The problem is when that memory becomes too strong and happens at the wrong times." "How do you fix it?" Ta asked. "We don't fix people, Commander. We help them heal. It takes time. Talk therapy, sometimes medication, but mostly it takes understanding that you're not broken. You're injured, and injuries can heal with the right care." Later that day, Ta found Captain Han in the embassy garden. Han was walking without his cane, taking slow, careful steps. "The human doctor suggested exercises to strengthen my leg," Han explained. "It still hurts, but it's stronger now." That night, the alien team gathered for dinner. Ta noticed something strange. They were talking more, laughing sometimes. Lieutenant Jin was showing off how smoothly his arm now moved. Major Do wasn't squinting against the light as he used to. Sumi wrote on her tablet and held it up. "Asterisk, we are changing here, asterisk." Ta nodded slowly. "Yes, we are." After dinner, he sat alone, thinking hard. There was no miracle machine healing them, no advanced technology the Union could use. Instead, there was something the Union had never valued: care without judgment, purpose beyond fighting, and community that accepted imperfection. It wasn't technology at all. It was humanity. Commander Tai was in a meeting with Dr. Hana when the alert came. A Union ship had entered Earth's solar system. It had not been scheduled. "Excuse me," he said to Hana. "I must return to the embassy immediately." By the time Tay reached the embassy, the other team members were already gathered in the main room, looking worried. "A Union battle cruiser," Lieutenant Jin said, his face tight with concern. Why would they send a battle cruiser? They soon found out. A landing ship touched down at the same spot where they had first arrived 2 months ago. But this time, when the door opened, perfect soldiers marched out in formation. At their head was Colonel Mun. Ta knew Colonel Mun well. Once they had served together. Mun was everything Ta used to be: strong, unhurt, and completely loyal to the Union. His uniform was perfect. His face showed no emotion. His eyes were cold. "Commander Tay," Mun said when he reached the embassy. He did not offer a handshake. "I bring new orders from Union Command." In the secure room, Mun activated a hologram showing Union Command's message. "Your reports have been received." The message began. "The lack of identify technology is concerning. Either you have failed in your mission, or the humans are hiding their capabilities." Tai started to protest, but Mun held up a hand to silence him. The message continued. "Earth has been reclassified. It is now a military asset, not a diplomatic partner. Colonel Mun will take command of all operations. The original team will return to Union space for reassignment." Tai felt cold inside. Reassignment for damaged soldiers usually meant mining duty until death. After the message ended, Mun looked at Tai with hard eyes. "Your team has clearly been compromised. You've gone native, Commander." "There is no advanced technology," Tai tried to explain. "The humans don't have miracle machines. They have a different approach to healing." "Spare me," Mun cut him off. "I've seen your medical reports. Your team is showing improvement. The evidence is clear. The humans have something we need." "Yes, they do," Ta said quietly. "But it's not what you think." Mun ignored him. "Tomorrow, I will meet with the human leaders. They will share their technology, or they will face consequences." That evening, Ta watched from his window as Mun's soldiers set up around the embassy. They moved with perfect precision, not a single trembling hand or limping leg among them. They were the pride of the Union. Once, Ta had been like them. He had looked down on the damaged and the weak. But now, as he watched them, he felt something new: pity. Dr. Hannah called him later. "Commander, is everything all right?" she asked. "The new arrivals seem different from your team." "They are what the Union considers perfect," Ta said. "I see." Her voice was thoughtful. "Will you be at the meeting tomorrow?" "Yes," Ta said. "Colonel Mun wants me there." After the call ended, Tai sat in the dark, thinking. He knew what Mun would do. He would demand technology that didn't exist. When the humans couldn't provide it, he would threaten them. The Union wanted a way to fix its broken soldiers, to make them useful fighting machines again. But that wasn't what Tai and his team had found on Earth. They had found something better than being fixed. They had found acceptance. They had found new ways to be valuable without being perfect. Late that night, Lieutenant Jin came to Ta's room. "You know what they're planning," Jin said. It wasn't a question. Ta nodded. "They'll take what they want. They'll study the humans like lab animals. We can't let that happen," Jin said, his repaired arm clenching into a fist. "We are Union soldiers," Ta reminded him. "We follow orders." Jin looked at him for a long moment. "Are we still? Or has Earth changed us too much?" After Jin left, Ta couldn't sleep. He thought about the children who had listened to Captain Han's stories. About Day, who had taught Shumi to speak with her hands. About the veterans who had knelt beside him when he panicked at a loud noise. He thought about what it meant to be whole. In the morning, he put on his uniform and prepared to attend Mun's meeting with the humans. For the first time since he'd arrived on Earth, his hands were shaking badly again. But this time, it wasn't because of his injury. It was because he had to make the hardest choice of his life. The morning sun shone through the windows of the embassy as Commander Ta gathered his team. They had 1 hour before the meeting with Colonel Mun and the Earth representatives. "I've called you here because we face a difficult choice," Ta said, looking at each of them. "The Union has decided that Earth is not a partner, but a resource to be used." He saw anger in their faces, but also fear. They had all sworn loyalty to the Union. Breaking that oath was treason. "If we follow orders," Ta continued, "the humans will be forced to share technology they don't have. When they can't, Mun will take what he wants by force. He will study them, experiment on them, Try to find the secret to their healing approach. And if we don't follow orders, Captain Han asked quietly. Then we become traitors to the Union, Ta said simply. We will never go home again. The room was silent. Each person was thinking about what they had to lose. Family, friends, their world. Sumi's hands moved in the sign language Dai had taught her. Major Do, who had been learning from her, translated. She says she already lost her home when they decided broken soldiers had no value. Do said. She found a new home here where she is still valued. Lieutenant Jin nodded. My arm works better now, but that's not why I want to stay. I want to stay because when it didn't work, the humans still thought I was worth something. One by one, they shared similar thoughts. On Earth, their injuries didn't define them. They weren't just broken warriors to be discarded. They were people with value beyond their ability to fight. The Union taught us that weakness must be hidden, Captain Han said, standing tall without his cane. Though Tai could see it was painful. Earth taught us that surviving injury is not weakness, it is strength. Ta looked at his team, his friends, and knew they had all made the same choice. Then we are agreed, he said. We will warn the humans about Mun's true intentions. We will help them prepare. It won't be easy, Major Do warned. Mun has a battle cruiser and fresh troops. We have us. Ta smiled slightly. Yes, we have us. Broken in body, perhaps, but no longer broken in spirit. They quickly made their plan. Ta would attend the meeting as ordered. The others would contact their human friends and warn them. As Ta walked toward the meeting room, he thought about all that had changed since they arrived on Earth. His hands still shook sometimes. His nightmares hadn't completely gone away, but he no longer felt ashamed of these things. Colonel Mun was waiting in the hallway outside the meeting room. His uniform was perfect, his posture straight. He looked at Todd with cold eyes. Ready to finally complete your mission, Commander? Mun asked. I am completing my mission, Tay replied. Just not the one you think. Mun's eyes narrowed, but before he could respond, the doors opened. Dr. Hana and other Earth representatives were waiting inside. Tai took a deep breath and walked in. This would be the most important meeting of his life. Dr. Hana smiled at him, but her eyes were worried. She had sensed the change when Mun arrived. Before we begin, Ta said clearly, looking directly at the humans, not at Mun. There is something I must tell you. Commander, Mun warned sharply. Tai ignored him. The Union did not send us here only for diplomacy. They sent us to find your healing technology. They wanted to use it to repair broken soldiers like us so they could fight again. He heard Mun's angry intake of breath behind him. But we found no such technology, Tai continued. Instead, we found something more valuable. We found a society that doesn't throw away people when they're damaged. We found purpose beyond fighting. We found hope. He turned to face Mun, his hand steady, his voice firm. And I will not let you take that away from Earth. Mun's face turned hard as stone. You are relieved of duty, Commander. This is treason. No, Ta said calmly. For the first time since I was injured, I am fulfilling my true duty, protecting those who deserve protection. For a moment, the room was completely silent. Then Dr. Hana stood up. Perhaps, she said, looking from Ta to Mun, we should talk about what Earth really has to offer the Galactic Union. Colonel Mun's face was hard with anger as he stared at Commander Ta. Arrest him, Mun ordered the two soldiers by the door. He is a traitor to the Union. The soldiers stepped forward, but they stopped when the doors opened again. Lieutenant Jin walked in with Suma, Captain Han, Major Do, and the rest of Ta's team. Behind them came many humans. Jiho, Da, the veterans Ta had met, and many others. If you arrest him, you'll have to arrest all of us, Jin said. Colonel Mun looked at the group with cold eyes. So all of you have turned against the Union. For these primitives? No, Ta said calmly. For ourselves. And the humans are not primitives, Colonel. They're just different from us. They value different things. Mun laughed without humor. Like weakness, imperfection. Like compassion. Dr. Hanna said, stepping forward. And before you threaten us, Colonel, you should know that Earth's nations have been meeting since your arrival. We suspected your intentions might not be peaceful. She pressed a button on the table, and a screen showed many ships in Earth's orbit. They were smaller than the Union battle cruiser, but there were many of them. We may not have your technology, Hanna continued, but we have unity and determination. We will defend our planet. For the first time, Mun looked uncertain. He had expected an easy victory, not resistance. You're making a mistake, he said. The Union can offer you advanced technology, protection, knowledge. In exchange for what? Hanna asked. Becoming a resource to be used. Having our people studied like lab animals. No thank you. Then Hanna did something surprising. She smiled at Mun and sat down at the table again. But we do have a different offer, she said. Everyone in the room looked at her with surprise. Earth is willing to share our rehabilitation methods, our psychological techniques, our whole approach to healing with the Galactic Union, Hanna said. Not as subjects to be studied, but as equal partners in a true exchange of knowledge. She looked at Ty and his team. We've seen how our approach has helped these brave soldiers. We would be happy to help others like them. And, she added, we offer sanctuary to any Union soldiers who wish to stay on Earth. Not as exiles, but as welcome guests who could become citizens in time. The room was silent as everyone took in this offer. It was not what anyone had expected. Colonel Mun's face showed disbelief. You're facing a superior military force, and you're offering partnership. Yes, Hanna said simply, because that's who we are. We seek connections, not conquests. Mun shook his head. The Union will never accept this. Perhaps not all at once, Ta said. But change can start small, Colonel. To everyone's surprise, one of Mun's perfect soldiers stepped forward. She was tall and strong, her uniform spotless. Colonel, she said, I request transfer to the diplomatic corps. I wish to stay and learn more about Earth's approach. Mun stared at her. Soldier Park, what are you saying? Another soldier stepped forward. I also request transfer, sir. My brother was injured in the Hive War. He was sent to the mines. If Earth can help soldiers like him, I want to learn how. Then a third soldier joined them. My request as well, sir. I've seen how Commander Tay's team has improved here. I want to understand it. Colonel Mun looked at his perfect soldiers with shock. They were the best the Union had to offer, and they were choosing Earth. Todd watched this with hope growing in his heart. This was something he hadn't expected, that the perfect soldiers might also want something more than what the Union offered them. Dr. Hanna smiled gently at Colonel Mun. You see, Colonel, we don't need to fight. We can find a better way forward. Together. Mun looked at the humans, at Ta's team, and at his own soldiers who had stepped forward. For the first time, uncertainty showed in his perfect face. I will report your offer to Union Command, he said finally. It wasn't acceptance, not yet, but it was a beginning. 1 year had passed since the day Colonel Mun had faced the choice between conflict and cooperation. The morning sun shone on the new Galactic Rehabilitation Center in Seoul as Commander Ta, now Director Ta, walked through its front doors. The building was large and filled with light. In the main hall, humans worked alongside aliens from the Galactic Union. Some wore medical uniforms. Others taught classes in art, music, and movement. Many were former soldiers. Dr. Hanna met Ta in the lobby. Good morning, Director, she said with a smile. Are you ready to welcome the new arrivals? Ta nodded. His hands no longer shook at all. Yes, their ship landed an hour ago. Together, they walked to the welcome area. Through the windows, Ta could see a Union transport ship on the landing pad. A group of 20 soldiers was walking toward the center. These were not perfect soldiers. Each one carried visible injuries. Some limped. Some had artificial limbs. Some showed the blank stare of those with mind injuries from battle. The fourth group this month, Hannah said. The program is growing faster than we expected. Ta nodded. After Mun had returned to the Union with Earth's offer, there had been weeks of silence. Many had thought the Union would attack anyway. But then, surprisingly, a message had come. The Union would accept a limited partnership to study Earth's rehabilitation methods. It had begun small, just a few injured soldiers sent to Earth for treatment. But the results had been impressive. Those soldiers had returned to the Union changed. Not fixed or perfect again, but better, stronger in new ways. Now, a year later, the Galactic Rehabilitation Center welcomed injured soldiers from across the Union. Some returned home after treatment. Others chose to stay on Earth. As the new group entered the welcome area, Ta stepped forward to greet them. "Welcome to Earth," he said. "I am Director Ta. Once like you, I was a soldier who came to Earth broken. Here, I found not a quick fix, but a new way to be whole." The new arrivals looked around with a mix of hope and doubt on their faces. Tab remembered that feeling well. Then he noticed the last person entering the room and froze in surprise. It was Colonel Mun. His perfect posture was gone. He walked with a slight limp, and his right arm hung stiffly at his side. His face, once so confident, now showed pain and shame. "Colonel," Ta said, walking forward to meet him. "Not anymore," Mun said quietly. "I was injured in the new conflict with the Hive. A neural blast, like yours. My hands shake too badly to command anymore." He looked down at his trembling hands. The Union was going to send me to the mines, but someone suggested Earth instead. Someone who remembered what happened here. Ta nodded, understanding exactly what Mun was feeling. "Come," he said, "let me show you around." As they walked through the center, Ta explained how it worked. "We don't just treat the body. We treat the whole person. We find new ways to be valuable, to contribute, to live with purpose." They passed a room where Sumi was teaching sign language to a group of aliens and humans. In another room, Captain Han was leading a class on space navigation. "Lieutenant Jin works with the robotics team now," Tai explained. "They're developing better prosthetics, and Major Do helps those with vision implants adjust to the new ways of seeing." Mun looked at all this with wonder. "I never understood," he said. "I thought being a perfect soldier was the only way to have value." They stopped at a large window overlooking a field. Outside, a mixed group of humans and aliens were playing an adaptive sport in wheelchairs. They were laughing and shouting, their faces alive with joy. "The Union sent us here because we were broken," Ta said. "They thought Earth might fix us and make us perfect soldiers again. But Earth gave us something better." "What was that?" Mun asked. "The understanding that healing isn't about erasing damage," Ta said. "It's about finding new strength within changed circumstances. It's about community that values all kinds of contributions. It's about purpose beyond fighting." He looked at the former colonel. "The Union sent their broken warriors to Earth, and we found hope instead. Now you have the same chance." As the sun rose higher, casting warm light through the windows of the Galactic Rehabilitation Center, Tay realized how far they had all come. What had begun as a mission of rejected soldiers had become the foundation for a new understanding between worlds. The Union was changing, slowly but surely. And it had started here, with 12 broken warriors who had found a new kind of strength on a small blue planet called Earth.